Hello everyone, in this episode I'm going to introduce a simple model of matching. This model, and in fact the entire matching theory, inspired by brilliant work of Gale and Shapley. They first published it in 1962. They basically talk about college admission and marriage market. So maybe this example fits better to marriage market, but I will definitely go through, I think it's a bit cheesy, so I'm going to go with the college admission framework. But for the, you can apply this setup, this theoretical model to a lot of other problems you may actually face in reality. So for the marriage market, think of it as, just to give an intuition, you are running a dating app, all right? And so there are men and women who would love to, get to match to others. And so, one man is going to be matched with another man or woman. And so similarly, one woman is going to be matched to another man or woman. And so it's going to be what we call one-to-one matching. All right. Well, let's suppose that everybody creates their profile truthfully. I mean, they put the true pictures, true bio or information. So everything is true. And so all the candidates basically go through the, every other candidates and then submit to you a list of candidates that they would like to be matched. All right, so they basically tell you their preferences. And then you collect those preferences as a matching mechanism and then determine which person is going to be matched with which person, okay? So that's what you do as a dating app. I don't know how dating websites work. Probably they don't work that way. I don't know. But as I said, it fits to this example, I think, very nicely. But I mean, to me, it's a bit cheesy example. So I'm going to switch in terms of lingo, a college admission. So there are students and colleges. And so, students would like to be matched with some college or would like to attend to a college. And here, what we do is that we denote S as the set of students, C as the set of colleges. I mean, if you like, you can think of them as departments, separate departments, and suppose that they are finite, okay, for simplicity. Well, we're going to be talking about one-to-one matching. So each student will be matched to only one university, which makes sense. The restrictive assumption in this framework is that each college can admit at most one student, okay? Well, in reality, we know colleges admit like tens of thousands of students or hundreds of students at least, but for simplicity, for that reason I said marriage market may seem sort of a better example, but for simplicity, let's imagine every college is going to admit only one student, but at most one student. By the way, the colleges may not admit any student if they want to, and the students may not attend or may not be sort of matched with any college if this is what they want. So for that reason, we talk about this. This is the empty set, all right? So it basically denotes alternative where the student and or college is not matched. Okay, so they take their outside option. All right, so the empty set basically denotes no match. Well, we assume that schools, the colleges, and students have strict preferences over alternatives. All right, so each student strictly ranks colleges and each college strictly ranks students. This is not extremely a strong assumption, but for simplicity, let's go with that. Well, here the important thing is students do not rank other students, okay? I mean, as a student, I don't care about how the other students are ranked. I mean, I don't rank them because I'm not going to be matched with another student. I'm going to be matched with a college. So therefore, as a student, I rank colleges. And colleges do not rank other universities. They basically rank students only. So these are preferences. So students have preferences over colleges. My first best, second best, third best, etc. And then similarly, colleges have preferences over students. Okay? Well, you may say, in many countries, especially if it is a centralized market environment, like the one we are describing here, well, the universities are not really people who submit preferences. It's just a central authority gives us some exam, and so out of this exam the students are ranked, and so the colleges admit according to this rank, and so all colleges have basically the same set of preferences. Well, fine, again, this is why maybe college admission problem is not 100% fit for this framework. But in fact, I think a marriage, think of marriage market if that assumption is bothering you. All right, so every man, if you're interested in other man or woman, doesn't matter, you basically rank those alternatives and then submit it to the authority. And same for everybody else, okay? Well, as a notation, we're going to denote C. The college C is at least as good as for student S to college C prime. All right, so college C is not at least, this is not at least as good as, this is strictly preferred to, college C prime for student S. All right, so student S strictly prefers college C to college C prime, and remember, we assume strict preferences. It's complete, it's transitive, and it's anti-symmetric. If you don't know what it means, don't worry about it. It's strict. And then similarly, we say college C also prefers strictly student S to student S prime. All right, so student S is strictly preferred to student S prime for college C. Okay, this is how we sort of read those notation. Well, whenever we say something like this, that basically means I could be school, it could be college, could be student. I is acceptable by J. All right, remember the empty set is no matching, and so if something is less than empty set, well, that means actually those alternatives are not acceptable. All right, so let's suppose a very simple example. There are, 3 students, student 1, student 2, student 3, and there are 3 colleges, C1, C2, C3. And so student 1, because of locational preferences, maybe prefers college 1 to college 2, and that's it. She doesn't want to be placed in college 3, maybe college 3 in another country, and she doesn't want to leave her country. I don't know, whatever the reason is. And then student 2 may have a different preferences, C2, C1, C3, and then an empty set. And then for student 3, obviously, she may not want to be placed anywhere, okay? And so we just leave it as is because it really doesn't matter what comes after that, because this student doesn't want to be matched with any university, that's obvious. And then colleges have preferences over students. It could be the case that all colleges prefer exactly the same way. So maybe student 1 took a very high score in whatever test they really care, and so all the other universities, colleges prefer S1 to S2, S2 to S3, but for some reason, college 3, maybe it's an art school, and so prefers S2 to S3 and then S1 maybe. Okay, well, here we can assume that all the schools are, all the students are acceptable. All right, well, so this is one possible preference profile. All right, this is preference for place, school 1, school 2, school 3. So that constitutes a preference profile. And this is just one example. There could be a bunch of other examples, obviously. You change the ranking of C1, C2, C3 and the empty set, and change the ranking of S1, S2, S3 and the empty set. You basically generate another preference profile. So, an outcome of a matching market is a matching, and we're going to denote matching by mu. All right, so matching is going to be denoted by mu, and matching is nothing but a function. All right, it maps this set, meaning it matches every student and every college to, so it maps to this set, union the empty set. All right, so basically matching matches each student and each college to a student and or college, or and an empty set, meaning does not match. All right, well here, however, again, remember there can be like millions of different functions from this set to this set, depending on the number of alternatives. However, not all functions are matching. So the matching are special functions. They have to satisfy these three properties. So what are they? Well, the first property is that students must be matched with a college. All right, so students shouldn't be matched with another student. So mu of S, so if it is a student S, his name is Adam, well, it should be a member of this set. I mean, he's going to be matched to a college, or he's not going to be matched, okay? So therefore, mu of S has to be in this set. Well, the second property, every college must be matched to a student and or nothing, all right? So therefore, mu of C is an element of this set, S union empty set. Well, then the third property is that, well, if you match student S to college C, well, that means you match college C to student S, or vice versa, okay? Meaning if you match college C to student S, well, that means you're matching student S to college C. And that's true for any student S and for any college C. Meaning, if I have like, remember, I have two C1, C2, C3, S1, S2, S3, and then I have C1, C2, C3, S1, S2, S3, and then the empty set. Okay, so this is S union C union empty, and this is the S union C. So a matching is going to match C1 to one of the colleges, students, I'm sorry. All right, so you can't match C1 to C2, for example. Okay, so this is how it's going to go. And again, so if this is matched, so C1 is matched to S1, that automatically means by the third property, S1 is in fact matched with C1, okay? Well, if you match C2 to S2, well, according to property 3, that automatically means S2 is matched to C2. And then you can match C3 to empty. That basically means college 3 admits no student. Okay, well now one student is basically not matched yet, and so you have to match this to one of those colleges, all right? C1, C2, C3, or the empty set, all right? Well, obviously, remember this third property, you cannot match S3 to C3 because S3 doesn't admit any student, all right? So that means C3 is not going to be admitted, all right? Well, this is true because we have the same number of students and colleges. If we had more colleges than students, well, then I could sort of admit student 3 to college C4, for example, whatever. But in this specific example, because C3 is not matched, that means student 3 will also be not matched. So this is one potential matching. But again, don't forget, we have not millions, but many other potential matchings that can be created in this framework. All right. So, but the thing is, a matching is basically any function from this set to this one, which satisfies these three properties. Okay.